Hi, welcome one and all. We are here at Symphony Solutions once again, growing our virtual communities, technical ones in particular. And yes, I know a lot of you are watching us on YouTube, so please let us know down in comment section where exactly are you watching us from. That's very important. We really want to know where you're coming from today for this stream. We have a very special guest speaker today, and we are talking about the role of test environments in the 21st century. I am thrilled to introduce to you the one and only Artem Zakharchenko, an architect and the head of JS department at Namecheap. Artem, it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for being with us. The floor is yours.
Great. Thank you so much inviting me at this event. So a couple of words. I'm working on a set of articles about testing environments, and I decided to start presenting it on that event. So today I'd like to talk about testing in production, the topic called the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'd like to share with you my experience and how it works in company I'm working right now. So a bit of my biography. So, okay, generally, I thought about possibility to use AI systems to help to build my presentation, but it took too much time and only several pictures I have generated from AI. So just regular slides, just information about development in that presentation. So I've worked in lots of different countries, from small startups to huge enterprises with thousands of employees. Right now, I'm working in Namecheap.com. It's second world biggest domain register. And we launched a new product called Spaceship.com. So that's a kind of new vision on domain registration business. It's a kind of operation system or even ecosystem of different products together. And here on that project, we are using lots of different modern approaches. I'd like to share it with you and generally with all technical communities, because I'd like to get some feedbacks and I'd like to share my experience. And in my free time, I'm organizing tech conferences and I run a charity foundation, Stellar Ukraine, that helps people in Kharkiv region. So if you would like to help somehow to Ukrainian, just contact me or just visit stellarua.org website. So let's go to our topic. Do you ever had a manager that who is no rush to speed up feature release? So I guess today I won't receive immediate feedback from you, but I think it's a rhetorical question. So generally, all business owners, usually, I would not say it's 100%, and product owners, managers, push development team to release new feature earlier. Do you ever had a manager who said something like, please take your time and make this feature perfect? Take all time in the world. Of course, no. We have some limited time to deliver something. Ideally, if I were a manager, I would like to know exact estimate for the feature. In reality, it's super hard to estimate it because there are lots of things we don't know. There are lots of caveats. There are lots of things that could stop us with delivering new functionality, and that's real life. So potentially developers would like to deliver something perfect, but because of time, they are delivering just something. Do you ever had a situation when your leadership, your stakeholders ask you to spend as much time as you wish to test this feature? I also would say no, because we're building different processes to reduce the time we are spending on development, testing, and all the stages. And in various developer community, the most popular topic is how to deliver faster, how to decrease time to market value, how to be faster than our competitor, how to make our products, how to deliver, how to create our product faster, but in the same time with the same quality as we did it before. And today I will share with you my thoughts about how we could achieve it and how we, what we practice to be faster in terms of delivery. And yep, that's the last picture generated by artificial intelligence in my presentation. So usually that's how looks high effective manager in my mind. Yes, we talked with AI and we decided that's something I like to show you. So that's a guy that's a leader who is motivating and pushing everybody forward, at least in my head. So move forward. Today we are talking about fast delivery. So here I got an idea to ask you, share me some feedback about how we could achieve fast delivery. I don't have it, so let me just enumerate some my thoughts about it. How we can deliver faster. So we should write somehow code faster. That means that we could use right tooling. If we have team who can write code on JavaScript, we are not asking them to write code on Java, and that makes the delivery faster. What else? We can provide to our developers good environment. For example, JetBrains IDE instead of Sublimes or something like that. What else? We can think how to not spend lots of times on meetings rather than spend this time on development. We can not visiting inefficient meeting, for examples, and so. Another example, we can speed up our code reviews. We can describe scope of work with our manager. So there are lots of ways how to speed up our delivery, but how to make faster. But let's think a bit about delivery process we had in our company some years ago. It's after-generated scheme, and it's easier to read it using code. So I would talk about delivery process. So let's imagine that developers starts working on particular feature, and let's discuss the flow of feature delivery from the very beginning to the end. So developers start working on something. He deliver everything to testing environment. Developers notify QA or tester or some other name of that position in the company to start testing it. QA engineer runs his regression on testing environment. After it, QA notifies developer everything is okay. And after developers deploy this feature to production environment, after deployment, QA is notifying about that environment is ready to test. test is started, regression is running. Since it's finished, developer is notified, and only after that feature is closed. As for me, it looks super complicated, but it's the simplest. Flow of this diagram, because usually it could be breaked on any step. For example, QA could find a bug on that environment or on that environment, and everything is started from the very beginning. So it looks super complicated. Let's discuss how we can improve it. In my opinion, we should move to that diagram where developer just can deploy task and mark it in Jira that this task is closed. So generally saying, it's development without testing environment. And that's a very contradictional topic, and that's not work for everybody. But today I would like to explain our story about how we switch to that development procedure, and what is the benefits for teams and for consumers about it. So the benefits are pretty clear. So infrastructure becomes cheaper. I would say that in average, cost of testing infrastructure is more or less the same as the broad ones. You would ask why. And in my opinion, if a company has testing infrastructure, teams emulate production working on it. So that means that end-to-end test is running here. Load test is running here. We need to test scaling of our microservices under the load. And we are creating and imitating high load here. So costs of testing infrastructure is more or less the same as production. If we have several testing environments, it even could cost us more. And working without testing environment allow us to save some money. The second benefit is a shorter time to market. The time to market is the shortest possible. So since developer finished his feature and merged his pull request in productions, feature appears at live environment. Of course, that's not work for all environments, but for some environments, it's absolutely amazing, because problem we faced before such kind of development was that even changing a color of button could took us hours or days or weeks, because we have that stupid rule, we do not make releases on Fridays. Why? It's not clear for me. Of course, everybody wants to have silent weekends, but what could happen if you would release color of button of Fridays? Nothing. We're living in 21st century, and we have lots of different tools that protect us from buggy code, from not stable environment, and so and so. And using deploys directly to production, we can see our results at live immediately. From business points of view, it's amazing. But of course, we would back to pitfalls of this approach. And the third point, it's less operation activity. What I meant, we need somehow to serve our environments. Usually we have DevOps or even DevOps team who serve it, who control it, who make it identical. We have to scale it. We need to change database. For example, on some of our project, testing databases even bigger than production ones, because we are working more with different test cases. We are reducing timeframes of our crons, and we need to serve it somehow. So it takes us times of our high qualified developers. Without it, we could concentrate only on production environment. That's a difference. And I think that three benefits means lots of business. So we could explain to business owner, to stakeholders, customer, that this process could bring you some benefits, and these benefits are pretty good for business, and it even make development cheaper. Of course, we have bad parts of it. So the first one is developer experience. So as for me, the biggest part of it that lots of developers don't want to push everything to production because it's risky. We can make a mistake. We can break all system. So our customers will be not happy. And as the result, we could have overtimes, we can work on unexpected issues, and so. That's, in my opinion, the biggest risk, at least in our case. We have outage risks. That's a reality. And as a decision maker and the business owners, we should understand that if we are working without testing environment, probability of outage are higher, because at least everybody could make a mistake, and that's it. So it would be more often than if you have several layers of different environments. Of course, it could be mitigated, and we would talk about it a bit later. And the third one, it's lower quality. So potentially some not critical bug could be released to production, but some not quality feature. So something that was not expected from QA side, something buggy or something unstable. That's not break total experience, but makes it situation when customers doesn't want to use your product and he would prefer to use competitor's product. So let's talk about general idea of delivery in production. If everybody can do it, of course, no. So here I would like to raise a term that called shipping confidence. Everybody has own shipping confidence. For example, if we are talking about SpaceX or Boeing, it's not possible to change their testing environment. I even don't know how they work. So in Tesla, I know in Tesla, more or less, I know how work their web testing environment because my friends work here, but it's super complex way to test their autopilot, for example. So when we're talking about Netflix related to Boeing or Tesla or even SpaceX, their mistakes are not killing somebody at least. And that makes the rules. So Netflix create popular, engaged content. And if Netflix doesn't work, what the worst thing could happen? Somebody would decide to switch to Disney Plus or, I don't know, HBO or Apple TV. If it's critical for their business, I'm not sure. How long would they deliver the content if they would have several environments before production? I also don't know if it's their own business, but it would spend some time. Let's move forward. Let's talk about GitHub. How GitHub affect world in their outage? They affect crucially, because if GitHub doesn't work and you continuous delivery and continuous deployment system associated with GitHub, your company is stuck because nobody can do the release But in the same time, what they're doing, they're just saying on their webpage that, guys, we're fixing our problems, we're having some maintenance. And in the same time, they're delivering lots of cool features very fast, in very fast manner. So I don't want to compare GitHub and GitLab, but what GitHub has right now, it's the next level. It's amazing product, and they are delivering everything to production without additional environment, at least in some part, at least in some mutual way. So what I want to say here, so there are lots of products in the world that could be delivered to production directly. How to identify if a product could be delivered to production? I would suggest to ask the question, what worst would happen if I would break something? And if the answer is satisfying you internally, that's pretty good. It's pretty okay, and you can do it. Let's move forward to discuss it a bit in more details. So here we have four quadrant tool that explain shipping confidence together with criticality. We've already talked a bit about shipping confidence, and we are adding here criticality also. And let's start from the bottom right quadrantum. So here we could we could add products that it's a kind of startups that don't have lots of customers. The worst case scenario, if they fail during shipping, the customers won't be super happy. Maybe some of them would ask for refunds, but they are fast growing, and maybe for them even too expensive to run some test environments. So that's a part of products that could be easily work with him with no production. With no test environment. Let's move up. Let's move up, and that's fast-paced startups that already have some audience. If they fail, what worst could happen? They would lose some part of their customer base, and maybe some of them would ask for refunds. So it's a bit different group of startups. And here, based on business relationship, based on some business decisions, they could make their own decision if they're ready to move forward without additional environment. So they could make the product with less quality, but faster. So they can decide where they are. If we're moving to left bottom quadrantum, it's a more legacy or major product with complex building system that somehow have to be adapted to a new world, and maybe it works for years with infrastructure that has several testing environment, and even for their business, it's not super amazing choice, and they would like to become more faster because their competitors becomes. It's super hard for them to rebuild this infrastructure. And here, because of their complex way to deliver, complex way of shipping, it's super hard to switch to new reality and to make the releases faster. And top left quadrantum, it's about products that have really huge criticality and answering what's the worst could happen because of developers' mistakes would not satisfy anyhow any type of the person. So that approach are not for them. So health, I don't know, medical devices, vehicle control, security. It's not for development process without testing environment, but all others quadrantum could be adapted to that process. So as for me, before we started thinking about this process, we was somewhere on bottom left quadrantum. So we had huge legacy, not legacy, but old deployment system. And that was not a technical decision to move forward with idea to publish everything to productions. It was more business decision because business provided to us flexibility with technology and with creating things, technical things, I mean, infrastructure and so and so and so. And business asked us to be faster and proposed to us review possibility to deploy everything to production without testing environment, because from their point of view, that's not make product more with more quality, that makes our development slower, because feature could be stuck at sandbox environment could be unstable, and from business points of view, it's something we can avoid. And we've decided to make a part of our company culture phrase like fail fast, learn fast. And that was our challenge, to try to adopt this ham to our processes from one point of view, and from other point of view, it's really important to push our developers into this process, because lots of them was not super liked with new approach, because previous ways that they delivered the software was something that they work with for years, and something new is also a stress for everybody. But from business point of view, of course, it's clear, and of course, it's logical to remove testing environment just for improving time to market. But of course, there are lots of risks around from tech perspectives that we need to mitigate. And we've mitigated it in some ways that I will discuss on next slides. Let's move forward. So the biggest issue, as for me, on that transition period was switching developers' mind. So we analyzed that approach, and we agreed that, okay, so we are working with domains, hosting, and so on. And so from one side, we have lots of UI that make no critical pressure for customers. But from other side, we are paranoid about security. We are paranoid about data consistency. We are paranoid about things that could make our make our company's names in black color. So that's something we don't want to be shared in the Twitter, and that's why we are making an accent about data security, data privacy, and so and so. If we are removing the testing environment, that means that we have less chances to catch these bugs before production. So that's the issue. That's an issue that's feel and know all developers. And I would say 90% of the team were against our changes for different reasons. I made some interview with developers, and I asked the question, could you please explain your feeling when we started this process and now? And they were honest with me and said it was really scary for them to start, but right now they're feeling more confident. And to build this confidence for them, we used different technologies and approaches. So let's discuss about it a bit. So what we use? So we had, we've already had some experience with end-to-end tests before, but the pattern was that end-to-end test always has always less than 60% of coverage. And we are creating new features, and team who works on integration tests always in chase. They are chasing for that development process. In my opinion, that's not correct. So it would be amazing if new feature that's deploying on production could be delivered directly with end-to-end tests. So if end-to-end tests are failing, we are not releasing this feature, or we roll back these features. Or at least we know that tests are red and we need to do something with it. What does it mean for us? That means for us that we don't need any more lots of manual work to test it. So we can run screenshot testing, or we can just go through main flows and check it works correctly. That was the first argument to our QA engineers, why it's not super, why it should not be super scary for them. The second part is your manual QAs are your customers. So we also here have some foundation. So at Namecheap.com, we have a large and wide system of support. So when we started to launch a new product, we decided that we are concentrating on our customers, and willing of our customers is the main priority for us. Of course, we are filtering the feedback, but if something is going wrong, we are receiving fast feedback from customers. They are processed by our customer supports. Customer supports brings this feedback to developers team. By developers teams, I mean teams of engineers consist of developers and QA engineers. And the teams with the highest priority analyzing the task. So sometimes it could be faster than manual check, because QA engineers hardly knows all use cases in the system, especially in wide system, especially in ecosystems that could connect lots of products together, because we are increasing different use case exponentially. Yep, and that works. That works, and of course, customers should not be that QAs who brings you everything, because they don't want to be your QAs and want to be your customers that want to receive a value from your product. But in the same time, if customers like the product, if they see additional values, they are providing their feedback. And if you are processing it faster, in fast manner, they are super happy about it, and they are becoming super loyal to you and your company. Third step, we've suggested to QA engineers and developers become single team. Before, they worked in different Git repositories, and their infrastructure was absolutely isolated from each other's. QAs use TestRail for their cases. They used Nightwatch or WebDriver for running the end-to-end tests. It was separated from code, and developers and QAs lived two separate lives. I had a feeling that it's a kind of two group of people inside one team. For me, it's not correct, because they are making on one thing. They need to create quality feature in a fast manner to empower customers to make something. So customers are happy and customer paying us. And because of that, what we've done, it's merging all infrastructure inside one repository. So QAs who works on test cases merge test cases, commit test cases directly to repository when developer stores code. So developers can review test cases and approve it or provide some suggestions. In the same way, QAs could review pull requests. Of course, not all pull requests, and it's super hard to review some pull requests with lots of business logic, but QA could review pull requests with updating dependency or Terraform configuration or something that QA have to know. And we put in the single repository as well end-to-end tests. Because from my previous experience about chasing of automations for current environment, we've decided that it makes no sense to write tests only by automations. So it's a task for all team. It's a problem for all team. If team's goal is build quality software, that means the team have to decide who have to write this end-to-end test. And in the majority of team, it works. And what's important, it's let to know to everybody that quality, it's not QA's problem, it's a team problem. And in my opinion, right now, today on the market, we don't need any more manual QAs. We need something like a software development engineer in tests. It's a person who can use tooling, who can write code, who can analyze something to make your product with more quality. So today we have lots of things on the market that allow us to make everything more quality in not manual way. So right now, from what I could see, QA engineers receive super fast feedback from our tooling. So almost everything is covered with PagerDuty alerts. So if some error occurs in production system, we are receiving an error. If we making some critical release to production, team has lots of ceremonies like refinement or daily or something like that. And I'm expecting the team have to discuss the criticality of each release, not each release, at least criticality of super critical release that makes possible to make attention of someone to monitor the system after that release. Because sometimes it would be pretty hard for one person to monitor everything, because we have to check logs, we have to check CPU memory metrics, we have to check front-end errors, we have to check front-end performance, and so and so. And in case if there are lots of risk with the current release, we can share this responsibility between several persons in the team, including developers and QAs. And after it, team starts feeling themselves more confident. And right now it works. Right now, almost nobody has suggestions that we don't have this environment, at least some people. Of course, for DevOps, it's still pain. It's another topic, but let's discuss it a bit later. Outage risks. So yeah, we are not crazy, and we are building software, including critical ones for outage, like hostings. We don't want our customers has hosting outage. In the same time, we are releasing everything to production without additional environments. So how we deal with it? We have lots of system tooling around our infrastructure that allow us to know in super quickly manner that everything goes wrong. So all teams write logs. It depends on functionality, on technology. Not depends from technology. All logs are similar, so we have requirements for our logs. That means that we could have a script that would parse its logs and predict some incorrect behavior based on them. Or we can build kind of metrics based on that logs, and if that metric does not correspond our expected patterns, our expectation, that means the team have to be notified. If team have to be notified, that means that we need to react somehow on it. Different teams react on it somehow in different ways. In some team, leaders react on it. Some team has on-duty process, but reaction is works, and each notification should be explained somehow. Sometimes it could be acceptable. Sometimes it could notify us about not correct system work, and we need to react somehow on it somehow immediately. The second part that allow us to decrease outage risk is microservice architecture. It's a super contradictional topic. I won't recommend to anybody use or not use microservice architecture. But what I would say is that that approach allows us to avoid these huge outages when one stupid error could make system down. Using microservice approaches, you can drop kind of part of the system, and then you could restore it, and some part of customers would not even recognize it. That's something that make your life easier, and that's not affect 100% of your customer. But in the same time, in the system, in all microservice system, we have single point of failure. I won't say about ours, but there are some of them. I'm not saying it from security reasons, I'm sorry, but there are some of them, and in every microservice system, at least in every microservice system I worked with or I digged in, I saw single point of failure. And what we have to do with them, we need to handle them in some special way. So we need to make at least permission principle to allow to deal with them only for people who would make release carefully and in a responsible way. Or we need to automate almost everything that where human can do a mistake. So we identifying this single point of failure. We are trying to be transparent and trust with ourselves that that's single point of failure will lead to all system outage, and each of them are processed separately. Each of them has their own rules, how to deliver it, how to work with it. They have lots of reviewers that could find us a mistake on early stage. The harder part here is infrastructure. To maintain infrastructure, we are working Terraform. It's tooling that allow to work with infrastructure as a code, and without additional environment, it's super hard for DevOps engineers to make changes because it's something not super predictable, especially when you're working in the cloud, because cloud plays by their own rules. And here right now we are learning how to do it. So we are running separate environment, and then we are switching, and it's something we are learning to do correctly. And yeah, I would say that infrastructure guys are not super happy with that approach. We have a risk here, high risk, but we're learning how to deal with it. And if we are making something we are not sure about, we can enable maintenance mode. That's something we don't like to do because using microservices architecture, we shouldn't disturb all customer in the system that something is not working, and please wait, we would like to show almost we can, instead of showing nothing to customers. But when we are working on some system things, we can show this maintenance mode. And low quality. So to improve quality, we've decided to share responsibility of writing end-to-end tests to all team, to not keep lots of functionality not covered, and not to spend lots of time for regression after release. We also have a goal to make our system super responsible. So to make it possible, we need to measure delay of customers' actions and how system reacts on it. So, for example, we don't want that customer does not see reaction between pressing a button and some spinner more than over 100 milliseconds. And we don't want to load JSON files or HTTP requests more than 1 second. And we are measuring it. We are creating different tests. So right after release, team receives feedback on it. And based on it, team decides how to react on it. They can increase thresholds, or they can start finding an issue in their code. So it depends on business requirements and priorities, but at least teams know the situation about it. And it's super important to provide that feedback directly right after release. Another part, it's real-time metrics. So we are using APM systems that measure all transaction in the system. It's an event transaction, it's an HTTP transaction, it's a custom transaction we're building inside, and we monitor everything. If something does not correspond to our expectation, we are running alerts, so team notifying about it and reacts on it somehow. That alerts could raise you anytime, even at night. So team leaders receive that notification at night because we are running the product and it's critical for us. So based on that alert, so that alert make you unhappy. You can trust to me because I received lots of them, and you are translating your pain to your team and trying to explain that, guys, something work is not correct in our system, and you are prioritizing the task, and with team you are working on it to improve it. So that's something that allow us to make software better. And that's really important for delivery without testing environment, because usually right after not success release, we are receiving lots of that notification, so we can react on it somehow. So that's a real-time feedback, and that feedback we are receiving much faster than directly from manual QAs. And of course, I would repeat it, and I agree with it 100%. Removing of testing environment make your quality lower, but by using modern tooling, but using modern approaches and development patterns, you can make the quality at least on the same level as with development with testing environment. So we are feeling it, and we're happy that we are moving faster and quality satisfy us. And we are working on tooling that improve our quality from day to day. So let's talk about the results we've achieved. From developer experience, I would mark us from 8 out of 10. So we've discussed the roles of QA and developers in the teams, and we agreed that quality is a responsibility of the team, not only QAs. We've created convenient local development environment when developers can simulate the work in real environment, so it's easier for them to understand results. So they are not working in silos, they are working with a full infrastructure. We are making an accent of automatization, and that makes us think about our system as a bit something more stable than it was before. So it even super helpful in cases when QAs said to us that they don't have a time to run a regression. Of course, after each release, we have more and more and more regression. And if you're not covering it with automation tests, one day you would ask to hire new QA engineer because you don't have enough time to cover everything. That's the issue. And today, automatization is so easy and so straightforward, and lots of amazing tooling like Playwright, even WebDriver, easy running in one command that it's must be integrated with all project with interfaces. QA and developers start working on the same space, so test cases are not only something related to QAs, and changing version of packages is not something related to developers. So they are working together and they are learning stuff from each other's. And I'm super happy that developer knows what's test cases, how to use them. They can even contribute inside, because in my all previous places, I saw that the test cases, it's something related only to QAs, and nobody accepts them, know what it is. And when you are asking, what are you doing? They are answering, we are writing test cases. Could you please show it to me? They show, why do you need it? That's something on our side. It's something not related to you. Don't touch us. And right now I'm happy that we are working together and we can learn each other to be more mature in different aspects. I think that's a good choice and good way. QA and developers participate on calls. So in our teams, in not all, but some of them, we do have on-call procedure when developers and QA are responsible for checking alerts, receiving from logs, receiving from increasing errors rates, and so and so. And based on it, we need to, each alert should be explained somehow and wrote down to some document. So developers and QAs works together on it. And I know that usually developers have more experience. And here the goal is to teach QA to be an experienced user of tooling around us. It's an APM system, it's a log system, it's an error system, it's Grafana metrics, everything. So working together, they teach each other, and it allows to learn the system for everybody in the team. And then tests could be delivered for anybody in the team. We've talked about it. Yeah, I think that's not possible to cover it only with QA engineers. In my ideal words, responsible for creating feature should cover it with end-to-end tests on his side. That's my ideal word. We are not here right now. And we are using continuous learning. We are using continuous learning because we are identifying pitfalls in our system, and we are trying to solve them. We have lots of them, but each day we are trying to make our software and our processes better. So outage risk, I would mark in 7 out of 10. So we are lucky that we've built microservice architecture both on front end and back end, and that allow us to decrease amount of single point of failures. So if something went wrong, it's a kind of local issue. Not all system is affected. It's amazing. We're using permission control as least privileges principle, so that allow us to avoid stupid mistakes, and for critical places, in critical places, only responsible people could make some critical change or critical deploy. We still don't have a universal approach for single points of failure. It's the biggest issue. Even me made several outages for several minutes because of stupid mistakes. But I'm learning, fail fast, learn fast. Infrastructure part is also something pretty risky. It's a part that affects everything. It's something that we need to solve in future. And if we know that the risk of outage is pretty high, we are using maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is the cap from whole system, and customer at least will see the screen that everything, that something is under work in the system right now. So with a low quality, I would also mark in 7 or 8 out of 10. We had lots of automated toolings. We are working on it. We are improving it. I think from what I can see, and I'm using our systems as a customer as well. It works pretty good. It works in pretty performant way. And I don't see a big difference between our previous approach with several testing environment and with this process we have right now when we are deploying everything to production directly. I won't say that we have big decrease of quality. I would even say that we have more responsible and more fast interface, because right now, before release, developers think more about things he could break than before, because before he has several layers of protection, because each testing environment, it's a protection that make him feeling himself better and more confident, because if something is not good on testing environments, it could be fixed on testing environments, and customers are not affected. Right now, we have to think about how to deliver and what's the risk of the next delivery. I think that's good. That's make our engineer grow. And general impression of it, I would say it's 8 now out of 10. So in my opinion, we are moving in direction when all technology grows exponentially. We have new tooling, we have new approaches, we have new pattern, we have new languages, and so all they are developing to make quality of our software higher. Developer with a goal to make our life easier. We are purchasing the things with willing to deliver software faster. And in my opinion, approach with shipping code directly to production makes sense in environments where when you can answer what the word sync could happen would satisfy you. And if the answers satisfy you, you can move forward with that approach and think about how to make your product quality enough, not by putting more manual QA engineers into the projects, but how to use modern technology in the right way to automate it. I think that's the future, and it's a really controversial topic. But in my opinion, for companies who would like to decrease the time to market, that approach works. And if you would like, or customer would like to save money and be faster on the market and beat their competitors, that approach could be a game changer. So that's all from my side. Here I have my social media. You can contact me in Twitter, GitHub, or LinkedIn. You could have some questions. On GitHub, I'm also working on microservices, front-end microservices engine ILC. And it also could be a topic to discuss. Thank you so much. I'm super sad that was an interactive session. I didn't receive your feedback immediately, but hope you spend good time and you have some new idea or inspiration. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a wonderful time and we've enjoyed your presentation. The presentation, by the way, looks brilliant, and you are this one exceptional speaker, Artem. Thank you very much for presenting and sharing. And
thank you, Bogdan.
Anyone has any questions, please just drop those down in the Q&A box or in the comments on YouTube. Hopefully we do have questions. If we don't, that means that you were really powerful with your lecture. I know it feels a little awkward sometimes when you just kind of talk to the screen, but I feel like you could really concentrate on the topic, and the audience could feel it as well. There's a lot of thanks on YouTube down in comments already.
So one thing to add. So I started working on a series of articles about that approach. I would like to share our experience. I'm analyzing how other companies work. And I think in several weeks, I would be ready to share it on my blog. And all information I shared with you today on that stream would be available somewhere in public. I just need to finish everything. I'm receiving different feedback from my friends, from developers from other companies, and I would also appreciate if you share your feedback about that ideas. And the hardest part for me was kind of share it with you in the right context, because for me it's hard to understand your background, your current goals, your current projects, and the idea was to share that there are different ways to deliver software.
Okay, just to confirm how grateful everyone is, it says thanks for the great presentations. Thanks a lot for your presentation. Very useful information. Thanks a lot. I have a question though, says Alexander Ivashenko. I have few questions, but I'm not sure how should I ask it. Alexander, you're watching us on YouTube, so just drop your question. Yes, posted right there in the comments section in in the chat on YouTube, and we are expecting for that. We're waiting for that question to be asked right now, so that everyone can get the answer to it immediately. So, yes. While we were waiting for that question, how do you feel about presenting your material this way? I know it feels a little.
For me, it's always hard to present online because I don't see reaction, I don't see audience, and kind of when you see people's eyes, it's easier to understand how to present material for them. And when you are talking with your screen, it's much harder, because you are not sure how it's interesting to audience. And in the same time, that's my first presentation of that topic. I just finished the first version of my articles this weekends, and it was hard to understand what part of information I should deliver with group. Yeah, kind of it. And I watched lots of courses of Professor Winston from MIT about presentations, and I tried to make slides with minimum amount of information to make an accent on my speech. So I made some experiments today. So after the presentation, I will watch it once again to understand where is my problems in public speaking. I have lots of them.
I must tell you, you are an exceptional speaker. Very well done on the speech, very well done on the lecture. So that's what I've experienced while you were talking and presenting. So some say it's really easy to focus and concentrate when you are speaking kind of to your screen. Does that make sense to you?
I don't know. I don't know. For me, it's easier to present everything offline. Because to be honest with you, I have several open working chats, and I'm receiving a message, and I'm checking if there is no outage at the moment. So it's not super easy to present something at working time.
Okay. Yes. Thanks again for answering my questions. We were expecting for a question from Alexander, and yes, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I think that the approach to commit a test code in a regular project repo with the main code base will grow the repo rapidly, I guess, and it will be hard to maintain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably, yes, that's probably the question.
Yep.
I think
that's a good question, and Alexander is right. Repo is growth, and it's a clear and transparent risk of that situation. But my main goal was not to make working with this repo easier. My goal was push and force developers and QAs to review each other's pull requests. So, of course, I could run kind of knowledge session about what is test cases. It's possible, but I'm not sure that developers would listen. All developers would listen to the topic with much interest. For majority of developers, test cases, it's something that QA is working on. But if it's important for QA engineers, that means it's important for the team. And my goal was make an environment where everybody care about everything. And yeah, sometimes we are facing some problems. Sometimes, so we faced a problem during several months since we fixed everything. And right now, for 3 or even 4 years, it works perfectly. And we've spent, I would say, 2 months to fix all major issues on CI and local dev environments. For example, when developers face some problem with installing dependencies or with intersectional dependencies and so on and so. But generally, if your folder structure is strict, your repository grows, but it's not critical. I could see much more benefits than problems here. to be honest.
All right. There's a comment also from Alexander, but I agree that a good dev should know how test cases work and what we actually test.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So it's about time to wrap it up. Thank you very much once again, Artem Zakharchenko, an architect and the head of the JS department at the Namecheap. We were talking about the role of test environments in the 21st century. Absolutely crucial topic and a brilliant presentation from our guest speaker. We wish you best of luck and we wish to see you soon again.
Thank you so much, Bogdan. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye. Thank you.